And when we talk about Jewish values, I was just thinking about some of the Jewish values that were recently on display when the President of the United States just visited Israel. And right before he was in Israel, he was in Saudi Arabia. And one of the President's cabinet secretaries turned to a reporter and said, "How incredible is this? In Saudi Arabia, everybody's having such a great time that nobody's even protesting." Nobody's even protesting because it's against the law in Saudi Arabia to protest. The Jewish values are in Israel, where the ambassador could tell you, as a former member of the Knesset, protesting is a Jewish value. Absolutely. You know what else is a Jewish value? Women's rights is a Jewish value. In Saudi Arabia, where you need permission to drive, there's good news, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, just a few years ago, the leaders of Saudi Arabia decided that women can now vote. They can't hold elective office, but they can now vote. And this year, to celebrate the fact that Donald Trump was coming in Saudi Arabia, women can now visit the doctors on their own. Very impressive in Saudi Arabia. In the state of Israel, we literally have women running the country, including one of the first female prime ministers in the history of the world. Those are Jewish values. And finally, when you talk about Jewish values, it's the elephant in the room, and I don't speak for anyone else, and certainly not for an ambassador, but when we talk about Jewish values are not about a country like Saudi Arabia, which prides itself on secretly funneling and funding terrorism across the world, which we know that they've been involved in everything from 9/11 to terror that goes on across the world. Jewish values are you stand up and you say, we are a democratic state and we condemn terrorism, and we condemn all who support terrorism. We certainly condemn the Palestinians who literally pay terrorists to engage in their acts. And there is very little that's different than what happened in Manchester last night than what happened in Tel Aviv just a few years ago. It's the same thing. Those are Jewish values. And so we're here tonight as we celebrate Jewish values. And one of the greatest of Jewish values is the value of chesed, the value of giving back to other people. And the next honoree is someone who in fact embodies those Jewish values, and that is Rabbi Alvin Kass. Rabbi Alvin Kass has a master's from Columbia, a PhD from philosophy from NYU. He's the Rabbi Emeritus of the East Midwest Jewish Center. He is the Chief Chaplain of the NYPD. He's been there for 50 years. He made history last year. He became the first NYPD chaplain to become a 3-star chief. Congratulations on that. Jewish values are cases like in 1981 when there was a woman who had taken a hostage. A woman was taken hostage by a Jewish man. He got him to exchange his guns, I kid you not, folks, in exchange for pastrami sandwiches. That's a Jewish value. In 1986, when he left his son's bar mitzvah to rush to the bedside of a Jewish officer who'd been shot while on duty. Those are Jewish values. After 9/11, when he tended to officers at St. Vincent Hospital, and then he organized Rosh Hashanah services in LaGuardia Airport, which was then a temporary morgue for the city. Those are Jewish values. And you know what's the most important Jewish value, ladies and gentlemen, is? In 2016, while he was power walking, this is why he's in such good shape. While he was power walking along Riverside Drive on Sunday morning, he was making his daily 6-mile stroll. God bless you. 6-mile stroll. Unfortunately, he was assaulted and he got knocked down. The greatest of the Jewish values is that when they knock you down, you get right up again. And that's what we have right over here. Rabbi Alvin Kass, please join me as we recognize one of the great treasures, one of the great heroes of our community, 3-star chief, NYPD chaplain, Rabbi Alvin Kass.